goes nothing. This game is not suitable for children or those who are easily disturbed. Do you wish to continue? Yes. All right, we know what it's going to be like, bro. Gregor, that walk was brutal, but this cabin is amazing. Full kitchen, running water, it really has everything. Finally, a place I can read a good book in peace. I can't wait to... I'm sorry, everyone. It must be the dust. Oh, she sneezed. Get those allergies under control, Mariah. Don't worry, guys. I'm sure with a little elbow grease, we can make this cabin shine. So, are you volunteering to clean, Gregor? No. Not many supplies here. Guess we'll have to go out to get what we need. There's a fireplace for making stew, so let's gather up some firewood, okay? Leave that to me, little guy. I'll tidy up around the cabin. Need to save Mariah from dying due to this dust. Hey! Alleys are nothing to joke about, Kareen. She's not dead yet, Pipsqueak. Calm down. Thanks, Anatoly. Anatoly is a crazy name. Anatoly, nigga? Anatoly? I think I'll go foraging outside. With over 450 mosses, 900 fungi, and 70 slime molds, there's bound to be treasure up there. Roughing it is fun. Anatoly knows so much about edible foods. We're in good hands. I think the slime molds will be the most delicious. Most certainly not. What about the fungi? Do you even know which ones are poisonous, Anatoly? I could figure that out. You can be the canary in the coal mine, Anatoly. I'm not ending up a corpse here. Eek! Keep both eyes open, little guy. Plenty of wolves and brown bears around. It won't be a problem. I read up on 10 different techniques to incapacitate them. This nigga thinks it's alright. Number 1 is Anatoly! Oh yeah, sorry Mariah. Got carried away again. I help Anatoly look for food. I'm definitely better at warding off wild animals. If we come up empty-handed, we can always eat some of the food we've bought. You mean the emergency rations? Bad idea, chump. Hey, Anatoly and Mariah are getting the food. Gregor is gathering the firewood. That makes you our designated chef. Everyone's looking at you expectantly. You nod. Oh, I'm here again. Very excited to try your cooking. All right, everyone, let's go to work while there's still sunlight. Later. Mariah, Anatoly, Gregor, the 3 exit the cabin, leaving you and Kareen alone. I think Anatoly put the supplies in the kitchen. Thanks for helping out with the cooking. Tutorial. To save the game, right-click or hit the escape button on your keyboard to pull up the menu. This menu will also allow you to adjust volume levels or exit the title. Please note, going back to the main menu or exiting the game without saving will remove progress you made. Be sure to save. Do you have any experience making meals? I'll say, of course. Is that so? Looking at you, I think you'd be good at serving up food poisoning. You disrespectful bitch, right? It looks like Kareen will remember that. Anyways, going to check out the living room. Let's talk later. Kareen heads to the living room and starts dusting a little bit. You decide to look around the kitchen to find ingredients for the meal tonight. Tutorial. You never know what you'll find around the cabin. Clues and secrets may be revealed by searching an area more than once. Why not give it a try? What area do you want to search first? The first cupboards are empty. Anatoly must have put the supplies somewhere else. She's salty as shit. Like, why she remind me of Mamila from Chainsaw Man? There's nothing but cobwebs back here. Thankfully, no spiders. You check the drawers on the left. Just some dirty knives. Behind the woodpile, you look at the wood logs closer. This is just a pile of Norway spruce. I checked everything, okay? Check the cupboards again. Just some mouse turds and cobwebs. You check the drawers above the mouse hole. Some kind of mold is growing in this one. The redhead is a 3 out of 10. Anthony said she's an 8 though. Maybe Kareem will find it appetizing? What? What am I doing? You check the cupboards underneath the sink. You found a dead mouse. Okay. This would be a great gift to give Kareem. You added the dead mouse to your inventory. What? These would be useless during a snowfall. The drawers. You check the drawers above the wood pile. Something is marked, making it difficult to open. You pull it open with all your might.
Wee! Cabbage!
What the fuck? Chomp it, sound off.
Onion!
Never fear, Onion is here. Like my cousin Cornbread says, I'll rise to the occasion.
Raspberry!
Raspberry, always merry. Raspberry. Cabbage.
Oh, yeah?
Potato. Cabbage stuffed me into this drawer. I'm pretty sure this counts as kidnapping. Where are the chompettes? What the fuck is this? Why talk with those boring humans? All they have to give you is drama. Come chat with us instead. We share valuable recipes you can cook. We'll share with you our secret chompette recipes. No, Australian, this is Cooking Companions. Collect them all to become a 5-star chef. Tutorial. You can find unlocked recipes in the main menu under Extra, but be sure to save the game. To celebrate, here's your first recipe card. Roasted eggplant with sesame and pomegranate meat free. What? You unlock your first recipe. If you ever want to talk, just come to the drawer. Chompettes! Let's move out! The cabbage rudely slams the drawer closed. You wonder if what you just saw was real. You're slightly worried about what this means for your mental state, but only slightly. Hey. Here's Kareen, bitch ass again. Did you find the supplies? You shake your head. And Natalie lied. He actually put them in the bedroom. Idiot. Here you go. You got the emergency supplies. Kareen leaves you alone. You start a fire with some wood and get to work on cooking dinner. Tonight's entree, vegetable stew. In a large saucepan over medium heat, you heat some water with potatoes, carrots, and celery in it. 15 minutes later, you drain the pan and set the vegetables aside. Placing some butter in the saucepan, you melt it over medium heat. Bro's a chef! Throw in some chopped onions in, you cook it about 10 minutes. The onions are tender and translucent. Perfect. You next mix in some flour, salt, pepper, and heavy cream into the saucepan, adding the veggies to the mixture. Hours pass. We're back. More firewood than you'll ever need. We found some wild sorrel. Maybe tomorrow we'll have a bigger bounty. Anatoli's burying the lead. We saw a red deer. Mariah spotted it. Yeah, that's great. Anyways. Killed 17 spiders today while you were out looking at deer. Yeah! That should come as no surprise. There's over 160 species of spiders here. Oh. 160? Don't worry, Mariah. I'm sure they will all be in the bathroom or something. No. Almost all of them were near the couch. Yeah, I was going to sleep on the couch. That's where 16 of them were. I'm not sleeping on that couch stand.
Say no plaza.
No. And there's only 2 beds in the room? Don't sweat it, Mariah. I can sleep anywhere, so I'll sleep in the rocking chair. I'll sleep with one eye open, just in case any of them swarm the couch. Thanks, Gregor. Kareen and Natalie, you two take the bedroom. Thanks, big guy. Joke's on you, Gregor. I always plan on taking one of the beds. Hey, Natalie, I snore louder than a lumberyard. Eck! Sweet dreams, chump. You turn back to your bubbling vegetable stew and try a bite. This tastes pretty good. You cooked vegetable stew. You set the table and ask everyone to dig in. Let me see what they think. Oh, wow. This smells delicious. Thank you. You must be a world-class chef. Kareen takes a bite. It's bland as hell. Nigga, fuck you, Kareen. Red hair, bitch. Fuck you. Kareen tastes like every other vegetable stew I've ever had. So generic. Your auntie generic, pussy. Could you probably use some meat next time? Gross. For a side dish, we could bake some bread and utilize the Fragaria Vesca, also known as strawberries, for some jam. Nobody cares, Pipsqueak. Everyone laughs at Kareen's polite ribbing. Nothing makes you happier than a cooking great meal for friends. This could very well be the best day you've ever had. Oh, they're just messing around, guys. They're just messing around. Relax, guys. Relax. Like, relax, guys. They're just messing around. Day 0. Day 0. We counting the days now? Hey, you. You up? How'd you sleep? I was so warm last night. I didn't even need a blanket. What time is it? About 1 hour until dawn. Will you two pipe down? Trying to sleep over here. Is like, does Kareen mean something with redhead? That's a general question. I'm sorry to pause. But does Kareen mean something with redhead? Because I just remember that Kareen from Naruto also had redhead. What does Kareen mean? Anatoly, yawn. Gregor. Yo, that's gonna be... Why did him saying yawn make me yawn? Gregor, the birds outside aren't making much noise yet. We didn't bring any supplies, remember? Better to get a head start on gathering food. I honestly can't see the trees outside right now. Gregor, did you see any spiders last night? There was a small one in the bathroom. Eck! Actually, I did see a centipede by the sink. Mariah turns a little pale. Kareen's messing with you, Mariah. Let's find more than wild sorrel today. Gah! If you're lucky, little guy, maybe I'll teach you how to catch some wild brown trout. What's with you and meat, big guy? Anatoly's herbalism book stated that there's many more species of plants to eat out here. Let's leave the fish alone. You know, I'm not into meat. That's a shame. Why they have so much fucking emphasis on meat, nigga? Like, I'd wake up early to go fishing. Cheer up, Kareen. We'll get to observe the trout at very least. Maybe we'll see more red deer today. That sounds like a waste of time, Gregor. Ha ha ha! Maybe we'll find some blackthorn berries. I love blackthorn berries. Ha ha ha! We'll be back later. Can you watch our stuff today? You nod. Thank you. Thanks. Don't steal anything, okay? You nod. What game is this? Wait, this is Cooking Companions, man. It's not a porn game. What's wrong with you, man? Mariah, Anatoly, Gregor, and Kareen leave the cabin with a hop to their step. You're alone, but thankfully you have a drawer of trumpets to keep you company. Tutorial. Each day you'll be asked to explore a different part of the cabin. You only get one choice, then the day will end. Choose wisely. What do you want to check out today? What should we check out today, guys? Chompets, bedroom, bathroom, or basement? Chompets, bedroom, bathroom, or basement? The basement right off the bat, nigga? Bedroom? Let's do the bedroom. See if anybody fucking. That's interesting. Kareen and Anatoly kept the room pretty clean. Only one of them made their bed. Who still makes their bed? What do you mean who still makes? Everybody, nigga. What? You look underneath one of them. You found some extra emergency supplies. You decide to look through them and start planning your next meal. I don't get it. Are we like trapped somewhere or something? We're back. Tee! Knock it off, Mariah. It's pretty rare to be scared of one. It's not. Who knew the big guy would be so scared of? Shut up! You don't understand. I don't think anyone understands, Gregor. It was just a marmot, Gregor, not a monster. Mariah laughs so hard that your ears ring. Tears are rolling down Mariah's cheeks. She's laughing so hard that she's about to hyperventilate. Stop Mariah from hyperventilating. Absolutely not. One less mouth to feed. What? You don't get it. It's pretty personal. Then please explain, big guy. Gregor looks incredibly uncomfortable. Let's leave him alone. We found some raspberries and elderberries near the cabin. Quite the selection of berries. We also found more wild sorrel. Is this going to be enough for a good meal? Everyone is looking at you for an answer. You decide to do an inventory of all the available ingredients. It takes you a while, but you decide on your specialty. Cabbage rolls. You first bring a large pot of water to boil. You let the cabbage leaves boil for 2 minutes. In a medium mixing bowl, you combine some cooked rice, onion, egg, salt, pepper, along with some tomato. This boy is a fucking chef. What's up, V10? This boy is a chef. I'ma feed her. I don't need... Bro, you, like... Anthony Logan, you are a fucking horn dog, nigga. You are fiending over this goddamn video game character, nigga. Like, relax, nigga. Relax, bro. Relax. She's not gonna suck your dick, bro. It's a game, nigga. You cannot put your... Get your dick off the screen, Anthony. Anthony! Get your fucking dick off the screen! She does... Yo! Get your dick off the screen, nigga! She's, like, relax. It's a cartoon. It's a cartoon, nigga. It's bugging, bro. You use your hands to mix thoroughly and decide to wash your hands after. It won't come off. Dividing the rice mixture evenly between the cabbage leaves, you then roll them up and tie a string around them so they tightly stay in one piece. You place the cabbage rolls in a large skillet over medium heat, pouring the rest of the tomato mixture over the top. Covering it, you bring it to a boil. You reduce the heat to low and let the cabbage rolls simmer for about 40 minutes, being sure to baste it with liquid. You cooked cabbage rolls. Them just look kind of good. Cabbage rolls actually sound kind of fire. Mariah looks optimistic. Karine looks skeptical. And Natalia looks curious. Gregor looks thrilled. You watch intensely as everyone takes the first bite. Intently. Hey, you guys look like you liked it. That's pretty darn good. Wow, I could eat the whole batch myself. I think the vegetable stew tasted better, but I'm loving how tender the cabbage is. The sauce is pretty red. Did you use fresh tomatoes for it? It really adds to it. Spoon some of the liquid on top of it. You'll thank me later. They fucking loving my cooking. Nigga, they're slobbing on my cooking cock right now. They're slobbing on my fucking cooking cock, man. They're fucking slobbing on my cooking cock, man. They love my food, man. Incredible. It's definitely growing on me. They're fucking loving it. Thanks again for cooking. This was really something special. Everyone leaves the dishes behind for you to do. That's fucked up, you know. Not happening. You settle in and go to bed. Everyone goes to bed full. Tomorrow will be another great day. Nate, how you doing, man? My day's good, bro. How about you? I'm searching for Mariah tonight. Y'all niggas is some freaks, bro. Good morning, everyone. Get again, Gregor? Can't you let us sleep in? Not today. Why? Storm clouds are gathering outside. We need to find some food before it begins to downpour. Gregor, you're overreacting. We have enough food to last us a while. Enough food? I thought we used most of the supplies for last night's dinner. He's right. The meal you made was delicious, but it used a lot of what we had. Gregor is also correct. Participation is unusually high in this area, with many areas being high risk for flooding. It'd be foolish to not go out and look for food today. You really think it will flood? Thankfully, the cabin is on high ground, but that doesn't mean we're safe from floodwaters. It's always a possibility, so it can't hurt to be prepared. You're losing it, Gregor. Karine! There's nothing to worry about. I think Gregor's right, Karine. Huh? It won't hurt to prepare for the worst. I think she's right, Karine. Fail to prepare, prepare to fail. Anatoly, let's go out and prepare for the storm. Foraging should be a pretty key priority today. There are plenty of edible foods and it has better odds than trying to hunt. Give me a few minutes and I'll plot out our route on some paper. Let me help, little guy. Anatoly and Gregor head to the bedroom to consult the map. Mariah and Karine are still hanging around. Toriel, unfortunately in life you can't make everyone happy. When given a choice to speak to a character, choose wisely. You can only select one of them. Okay? Try to max out your bond with certain characters for unique dialogue and scenarios. Which one would you like to talk to? Who should we talk to? Karine? Hey, this paper nailed to the wall looks pretty ancient. What were the old days like? Extremely brutal. Oh, really? You'll have to share the details with me later. Okay. Corinne will not be able to stomach your stories, but you still agree you'll tell her the details later. Corinne will definitely remember that. Your relationship with Corinne is stronger. You hear a shout from the other room. Gregor and Natalie come back from their meeting. Gregor is blushing slightly. Hey, can you cook something while we're out? You nod. Thank you. Alright everyone, we'll have our route now. Let's beat those rain clouds. The group leaves, determined as ever. You have the cabin all to yourself. What's that noise? Sounds like it's coming from the kitchen. Huh? Radio? What's going on with the radio? You didn't even notice it on the ground when you walked in. Did somebody leave this radio here? It looks newer than anything you've seen before. Seems to be broken. Better hold on to this. You got strange radio. Before you cook dinner, what should you check out? The bathroom. You remember an old tale about a child who said a killer's name 3 times into a mirror. What? What are we doing here? What are you doing? But you can't remember how it ended. You're too frightened to even try it. You leave the bathroom a little more scared than when you entered. Mariah's back early today. Hey. The others are still looking for food outside. Anatoly found some more berries. She looks scary, but nothing that will feed all of us. Please don't tell the others, but I'm a little worried about our supplies. I crunched the numbers and we don't have enough food, even with rationing, to last if there's a big storm and we get stuck here. Mariah seems disappointed in your inventory management. Can you try cooking with a little less this evening? You nod. Thank you. You've done such a great job with meals so far. You're very sweet. Is Mariah blushing a little bit? Tee! Mariah will remember that. My relationship with Mariah is a little bit stronger. Maybe you can teach me to cook sometime. You nod. Looking forward to it. You could hold cooking classes here someday. Rudely interrupting a tender moment, the others burst into the cabin. Don't be so down, everyone. We got tons of berries. Tch. Jam is so bland without any sugar. Do you have any sugar? You shake your head sadly. Yikes. Turn that frown upside down, Corinne. Who knows what tomorrow will bring? I'm not smiling for you, Gregor. Eek, you missed out. The sunset was really tremendous on our way back. Hues of orange, red, even a little purple poking out. Red sky at night, sailor's delight. Red sky in the morning, sailors take warning. So we can expect a sailor's delight tomorrow. That's awesome. You're such an optimist, big guy. We must have walked a few miles today. Ducky, your chat and channel has opened up a new and no, it's Anthony, bro. Anthony is a demon. Huh? Gorgeous sights. You could even see the snow on the tips of mountains. That rumble would sound like a dying calf. You look from person to person trying to determine who it was. Somebody's hungry. It was definitely Mariah. Mariah, I recognize that sound from anywhere. God, guilty. Mariah looks embarrassed, but the group laughs at her honestly. Except for you. You search your mind for something to say, but all you can think of is an old riddle. Those who have it do not want it. What? Those who have it least succeed. Those who have it for too long perish. When you feed it, it gets smaller. What am I? Shit, what did he say? I forgot. Hold on. All right, let me think. Those who have it do not want it. Those who have it least succeed. Those who have it for too long perish. When you feed it, it gets smaller. What am I? Hunger? Dust? Try again, big guy. Everyone is pondering the answer. Mariah's face lights up. I got it. Is it hunger? Correct. Yeah, I was going to guess that. Shut up, Karine, you dumbass. So what's on the menu tonight, chef? What am I playing? It's called Cooking Companions, man. Look, bro. I played Doki Doki. It was pretty good, WDSL. I played Doki Doki. It was pretty good. So that's why I played this too, bro. You might be surprised on the way these games go. They're not bad. Bread and jam. You crush the berries in your small mortar pestle, spreading it on a crust some. You cooked raspberry jam and bread. The bread's a little tough. Gregor, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. But this homemade jam is to die for. Sorry. No, you're right, Gregor. This bread stinks. Mariah, everybody laughs. You're not sure this could be called a meal, but it got the job done. Everyone thanks you for dinner and heads off to sleep. You go to bed wishing you had more. You have a strange dream. Something is riding on your back, and it's becoming a nuisance. You try to see it in the mirror, but you can't get a good look at it. You try almost everything, but it won't get off. The pain between your shoulder blades is getting worse by the minute. You wander away from the cabin, stumbling by a river to soak your pain in cool water. You didn't want things to come to this, but you've exhausted all other options. You swim out to the middle. Rocks on the bottom cut your feet. You slip and fall to your knees. You lean back, trying to submerge the thing underneath the waters. But it won't drown. It won't drown. It won't drown. You splash frantically, plunging your head beneath the water. The current takes you downstream. You try swimming to the shore, but it's no use. Water fills your mouth and nostrils. After a minute, you stop struggling against the current. As you gaze up at the sky, you feel it leaving your back, drifting into the sky as you sink to the bottom. As you take your last gasp, you see what was on your back staring into your eyes, but you don't even have the air in your lungs to scream. You wake in a cold sweat. Huh? Day 3. Huh? Wake up! Sorry, you were making strange noises in your sleep. What's going on, Gregor? Did the lightning wake you up? It woke me up. Tried to fall back asleep, but it's so loud. Ugh. Let's just get back to sleep and talk about this in the morning. Everyone nods in agreement and gets back to bed. Except for you. You can't fall back asleep. You still have goosebumps from the nightmare. Karine's snoring is louder than a sawmill. You find it very loud and distracting. You don't sleep a wink. Everyone is now up and awake in the cabin. You hear the front door open and quickly slam shut, and Atali sounds petrified. I looked out the door and we're completely surrounded by floodwaters. Looks like sailors take warning was more appropriate for today. Maybe it'll clear up tomorrow? You can't steal Big Eye's optimism, Karine. Why the hell not? That's all he has going for him. Heck, he's also good at chopping wood, though. Ha ha, knock it off, you two. Mariah, do you think it'll clear up tomorrow? I give it a 27% chance of clearing up tomorrow. Based on what? I was bored stiff, so I read a book on local precipitation levels for the last 20 years and living. What? Sounds like you're stealing Anatoly's thunder. Anatoly, you're a book nerd, right? Why didn't you read it? Heck, couldn't make it past the cover. Is that right? Yes. That bookshelf has some great books on artisan crafting and natural sciences. Why let them sit there gathering dust? How do you arrive at a 27% chance of it clearing up tomorrow? It's easy. Take the time of year, multiply by a factor of... Mariah begins to explain meteorology to you. She isn't dumbing any of this down. It's similar to... I don't even know what the fuck she said. Where? So the first thing you need to understand, minutes of explanation feel like hours. You look over at Anatoly. He's listening intently to Mariah. So intently he hasn't blinked. You can't see his eyes drying up. A tear rolled down his cheek. This is brutal to watch. Mariah finally wraps up her lecture. She ends with a bow. Nobody claps. Tough crowd. Mariah, that was awe-inspiring. You lost me a few minutes in, but it's okay. I didn't understand a word of it. Ahaha. Anyway, there's no telling how long this will last. We can't leave the cabin until floodwaters stop. I know our food situation is a little tight, but I know you'll make the right decisions. I believe in you. Me too. It looks like we have enough leftover berries for more bread and raspberry jam. I'll pass on the jam. Just give me some more crusty bread. Everyone laughs, except for you. With everyone stranded in the cabin, you need to keep everyone fed and happy. You sneak out to the kitchen while everyone's still talking. You get some crusty bread and get to work making more jam. With the kitchen to yourself, you decide to check in on the Chompettes.
Hello.
Hello. Don't worry, as leader of the Chompettes, I'll make sure none of the humans know about us.
Onion.
That big guy would try to eat me like an apple, so definitely don't tell them about us. Are your plans going awry? Got another cornbread classic for you. Did you hear about the bread maker's bakery burning down? No. Her business is now toast. That one's been done to death. Do you know how raspberry and milk were introduced? You tell her no.
Raspberry.
Milkshake. Shut up, Raspberry. You let out an audible groan. Did cornbread teach you that one? Nope. Wasted an entire day thinking about that terrible pun. It was well worth the time and effort, Raspberry. Maybe you'll win the annual Chompette comedy competition this year.
Raspberry. Onion.
Not while I'm here. I won't choke on stage this year. Isn't that every year, Bread? You're going to do great this year. Anyways, don't even think about eating us if you're hungry. Chompettes stick together through thick and thin. Rain or shine. Feast and famine. Potato, I swear to God, repeat the line or we're locking you up again. Life or death. That's right. Chompettes, move out. What? The Chompettes somehow managed to close the door on themselves. You bring the crusty bread and jam into the living room. Kareen interrupts you as you bring in the food. Took you long enough. Kareen looks at the 2 slices of bread left and the mason jar of raspberry jam. There's mold on these last 2 slices of bread. Kareen is right. What the hell is the matter with you? You grip the knife tightly in your hand. You think this is enough for 5 of us? Wait, we can't throw this bread away. It's all we have left. Gregor was right. Anatoly, will mold spores give us food poisoning? I'm no scientist, sorry. Let's pick off as much as mold as we can. We can't leave without the floodwater, so this will have to last us another day. Everyone grimly nods, ripping apart their piece like a pack of wolves. Gregor seems to unhinge his jaw and eat into it one bite. He looks like a duck eating bread. Thanks again. Bread and jam isn't much of a meal, but it's more than we had left in Ukraine. Wow. Plenty of rainwater outside, so at least we won't die of dehydration. But until this storm is over, nobody should leave the cabin. Should clear up if we just give it a chance. Ick, I've seen him reading. Little guy's been studying. I'm serious. He pretends to read those books because he wants us to think he's smart. But I can tell he's just staring at the page, faking it. What do you think? What should I say? He can read. You must be going blind then. Thanks. I don't know why Kareen would make something up like that about me. You aren't fooling anyone, Anatoly. Kareen has stormed off. Thanks for backing me up. Your relationship with is stronger. Good to have someone so positive around. Anatoly looks relieved. You think he'll remember that? I guess let's call it a day. Yeah, sure. I didn't get to check out a room. Everyone goes to their sleeping area 10 minutes later. Hey, Kareen likes to find somebody's weakness and use it against them when she's frustrated. Just wanted to thank you for backing me up earlier. You're very sweet to do that. Anatoly looks at you with a look of admiration. See you tomorrow. Anatoly looks like he's blushing as he walks away. You're definitely sure Anatoly will remember that. Okay. You get ready for bed and put a blanket on. You go to bed very hungry. You don't dream the entire night, but you sleep through everyone waking up. And that's how fast a deer could run if startled. Whoa, incredible, impressive, yawn. I wish we had a deer here. With the food getting lower, let's just skip today's meal. No! It's only for one day. Various cultures and religions have practiced fasting throughout history. That doesn't make us feel any better, Anatoly. What options do we have? Our food wasn't rationed properly. Anatoly leaves, mumbling to himself, so passive-aggressive of him. Everyone gets to a separate area. Karine in the bedroom, Gregory in the living room, Mariah in the kitchen, and Anatoly in the bathroom. Who do you want to speak to? I ain't talking to Gregory yet. Hey, there are plenty of blankets around, but I never need one. I generate enough heat for the entire cabin. Most of these blankets are pretty thick and heavy. One's mostly used for winter. Why are these out during the summer? You shrug. To be honest, I feel a little guilty about eating all the food the first couple of days. This should be over soon enough, right? You nod in agreement. Ah, great. Thanks again for everything. Gregory will remember that. I'm not sure, WDSL. I don't know if they're stranded or what's going on. Or they just live in a cabin. You leave Gregor to go mill around. Everyone looks pretty down. Wish the rain would just stop. You're all doing great, but we're almost at the end. I'm so hungry. Me too. You are too. You wish everyone had a good night and get ready for bed. You go to bed with a growling stomach. Thinking, you're making me hungry with that growling ass stomach. You have a strange dream. A boy is yelling at you in the kitchen. You keep telling him to lie down on the tray, but he keeps shaking his head, calling you names. So you do it. You lie down on the tray and make your body as flat as a board. You show him how it's done. His anger turns to courage, and he pushes you into the oven. As the stench of burning hair fills your lungs, you see him sneering back at you. You wake in a cold sweat. Day 5. What the fuck is... This is a different storyline for sure. Where is this about to go? Everyone seems to be sleeping in later than normal. Their stomachs must have kept them awake all night. The rain is still pouring outside. You can barely make out the trees from the windows. You hear a stirring of blankets, arms and legs. Mariah looks petrified. I couldn't sleep. Anatoly has bags under his eyes. The storm is too loud. Karine looks out of it. Whoa. The cabin was creaking so much last night. It sounded alive. Gregor looks a little gaunt. I got a good look out the window and couldn't see anything due to the rain. Great observation, Gregor. I was so hungry last night. I kept pacing around my bed. Karine turns to you. When is this going to end? I checked outside the door again. Floodwaters keep rising. Unfortunately, we're going to need to stay put unless one of us wants to drown in rainwater. As soon as the weather lets up, we'll be able to scavenge for supplies. Ducky, the cabin is ours and they're visitors. Oh. How close is the nearest town? I don't know. Didn't you have a map on you? I think I dropped it while we were running after Gregor. I'm sure it'll show up eventually. Haha. Mariah and Anatoly go white as a ghost. How are we going to find our way back now? We'll have to ride out the storm. Mariah looks at you. We're down to our last slice of bread. I don't know how much longer we can put off eating. The group stares at you. Oh. It will clear up in no time. Maybe you're right. The group looks worried. They all gravitate to an area. You can tell Gregor's putting on a fake optimism and Mariah's having trouble. Which one do you want to speak with lately? Speak with Mariah. Brr, it's cold as hell over here. I'm surprised Gregor isn't freezing to death at night. How does he do it? You explain it to Mariah that the size of a person and fat content determine how warm they are. Wish I was as big as Gregor. But to be honest, I don't need to be that tall to make a difference in the world. Do you know what he wanted to do for a career? Mariah does her best Gregor impression. Split firewood and gaze at the stars. How boring is that? Depends on the person, but pretty boring. You're so funny. Thanks for coming in and chatting with me. Mariah blushes. You make it easier to pass the time. Thank you. You're pretty sure Mariah will remember that. Ooh. Ooh. You thank her and leave her the bedroom? You call everyone together. They all look grim. You could cut the tension in the room with a knife. Everyone is staring at you. They're expecting the last piece of bread for dinner. You bring it out. Everyone cannot take their eyes off it. You instruct everyone to take a pinch, and slowly all 5 of you tear it apart with a wishbone. Damn, like a wishbone. Everyone studies their piece of bread carefully, wondering how long it will last. Karine is the first to eat hers. She chews each bite a few hundred times before swallowing. Anatoly chews it cautiously, opening his mouth once he finishes each bite. Mariah nibbles on it silently, eyes wide. Gregor just pops it in his mouth like a cherry. It was gone in an instant. The group thanks you awkwardly. But you've run out of options. You wish everyone good night and get ready for bed. Those motherfuckers in the cabin need to be cooked? I don't know what's happening. You go to bed starving. Day 6. No bad dreams tonight. Thankfully. Good morning. Morning. Let me check if the rain has stopped. It's still flooding. Fuck. What are we going to do? Humans can live about 2 to 3 weeks without food. Water isn't a concern. Rainfall should end in a day or two, right? Actually, precipitation can occur more than 215 days a year here. But do you really think it will rain that long? And Natalie, it's been days already. What makes you think it will stop soon? Ugh. Relax, everyone. Let's see how long we can ride this out. Fingers crossed it's done by tomorrow. Panic is slowly creeping in. Everyone's looking scared, but you need to survive. Karine and Gregor begin to discuss next options. Do you want to speak with Mariah in the kitchen or Anatoly in the living room? Let's do Mariah again. Z, what's good? Hey, Mariah looks relieved to see you. This nigga said drink Karine's milk. How are you holding up? Better question, how are you holding up? Not very good. That's very sweet of you to ask. Mariah's looking at you intently. She gets a little closer to you. I've noticed you didn't use any meat when cooking. Usually I have to pick it out of the foods the others make. But you respected that. Thank you. Mariah's looking at you with admiration. I need to speak with Gregor for a minute, but thanks again. She wants me. You're definitely sure Mariah will remember that. She wants me. 4 hearts? She wants me! You decide to check out the drawer again. Where are the chompettes? You ask Potato where the others are. They'll be back. They wanted to explore the labyrinth of tunnels around the cabin. Surely you've seen the mouse holes, right? They connect all over the cabin. Must have been some mouse that created them. Or something worse. Anyways, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Things are going to get worse from here on out. You have a feeling Potato is telling the truth. You realize some drool is leaking out of your mouth. Disgusting. Don't even try to eat me. You just get deathly sick if you tried. And from the look of you, you need to retain all the water you can. From rationing to cooking, you failed every common sense measure for basic survival this week. You knew something like this would happen, right? Never mind. With floodwaters rising and no food now, I think it'd be a great time to go over the fundamentals of starvation with you. Now, let's save. What is it, tab or some shit? When experiencing starvation, there are 4 factors that will determine if you live or die. Age, height, weight, and your degree of activity or inactivity. You've been especially lazy, so I think you'll survive a little longer than the others. The Harris-Benedict equation can help you figure out how many calories you need to simply maintain your current weight. The equation produces a number called the basal metabolic rate, or the basal metabolic rate, or BMR. Stay with me here. BMR equals 655 plus parentheses 4.35 times weight in pounds plus parentheses 4.7 times height in inches minus parentheses 4.7 x agent. Nigga, what? Got it? For fun, let's try it out on someone here. Mariah. Using Harris-Benedict, she looks like she's 120 pounds. About 5 feet 5 inches tall. 20 years old. Crunching the numbers, I think she need about 1,388 calories a day. But that's being abnormally stationary. She'd have to lay in bed all day and night, just eating, breathing, and using her brain. Not very common when you're starving to death. People tend to get up more. If she was being very active, let's say swimming through flooding waters, we need to multiply that 1,388 by 1.9. So now she needs 2,638 calories per day. That's quite the difference, especially if you didn't ration the food properly, which you didn't. I guess that wraps up our first survival lesson. Hopefully, we'll never have to speak again. Okay? You shut the jar going over the numbers again. What the hell is going on, bro? I don't think that any of us can take this much longer. Gregor's voice starts to crack. I don't want to ask you this, but it's time. One of us needs to go outside and search for food. Everyone is silent. I'll go. Mariah! I used to swim all the time near my house, so I probably have the best chance of swimming through the floodwaters. No, let me go instead. You won't get very far if anything happens to your glasses, Anatoly. You're blind as a mole rat, remember? That's true, but little guy, let me go. Gregor, sounds good to me. Kareen, his arms are definitely the longest, so he'd probably be the best at climbing trees out of all of us. No, that wouldn't be right. Gregor, let me go instead. Why don't you guys just go together? I get that none of these options are good ones, but we need to find food or help. Gregor grabs a branch for the wood pile. He cuts it into different measurements. Since we can't come to a consensus, let's draw for it. We'll each pick one from my hand. And the shortest will go outside to search for food. You're not worried about drawing. You saw Gregor cut the branch's length, so you can tell which is the biggest. You pick it. You watch the others intently. Will it be Gregor? Anatoly? Kareen? Will it be Mariah? Looks like I've got this. Damn. Was that fucking potato foreshadowing the future? She's about to die. It's okay. I watched Anatoly forage earlier, so I'll know what to look out for. Just swim until you find higher ground, then scout the area. Maybe you'll find a fish out there. Everyone looks heartbroken. Why didn't somebody go with her? Kareen, Anatoly, Gregor, I'll keep us alive. I promise. She promised. Everyone watches Mariah leaves the cabin. The silence is deafening. Goodbye. This is like a fucking anime episode right now, bro. I'm about to cry. I feel like Neji just died. The door shuts behind her. You can faintly hear her yell about how cold the water is And then, silence. Mariah has left the cabin. Kareen, I'm sure we'll see her again. The rest of the group nods. Everyone stays up, waiting and waiting. The sun has completely set. One by one, each person quietly shuffles off to bed. You get ready for bed and easily pass out. You have a strange dream. The two women in front of you could be twins. One of them you recognize, the other is the guest. You ask the guest to sit on a shovel, and then you try pushing it into the oven. Her legs are so strong you can't get her into the oven. You curse at her repeatedly. Like this, you hiss. You stretch out your legs until your toes are almost sticking into the coals. You feel 4 hands on your shoulders, and both of them push you in. The familiar smell of smoke and burning hair causes you to throw up on the embers. You can't let it end like this. You rip the metal dares off the oven, tearing through the wood logs of the cabin. Screaming, you chase the two through the woods. Your burns chill with the wind. The guest looks behind her, and her eyes widen when she sees you. She's terrified. Your fury rips trees out by their roots, soil from the ground, rocks from their pits. You've never been this angry in your entire life. Their stamina can't last forever. You're gaining on them. As you trample through a field of wheat, the guest throws a piece of cloth behind her. You catch the glint of it in the sun. Golden. As if by magic, the earth splits in front of you, creating a chasm of fire below. You fall into the pit, screaming as your eyes begin to sizzle from the heat. Hellfire fills your lungs. You're unable to scream anymore. You wake in a cold sweat. Oh shit, that one scared the fuck out of me. Day 7. Damn. Mariah never came back, huh? Damn. Good morning. Do you think she made it to the higher ground? I believe in Mariah. Me too. She'll be fine. Right, little guy? So what do we do now? Just wait? Kareen, how long? It's been almost a day since she left. Anatoly and Greg look nervous. Someone needs to go look for her. We need to wait, Kareen. Wait for what? The nearest town is miles and miles away. Waiting is all we can do for now. So it could be days before she gets back. What are we supposed to eat? Mice? Kareen. I'm sure Anatoly will agree, but we'll discuss next options if we get to it. Every waking thought is about food now. I never should have eaten that much. Kareen's hands are involuntarily shaking. Gregor and Anatoly just nod in agreement. They don't even need her to elaborate. You're sure Mariah will make it back. She promised. Everyone retreats to their areas. What do you want to do today? Talk with Kareen. Hey, you don't have to lie to me. I know Mariah's not coming back. I don't know where she came up with her being the best swimmer. I guess the only one that would know would be Anatoly. Last summer, Anatoly would watch her swim from the shore. He could have been a lifeguard. Such a good swimmer. She never went under, but if she did, he would have pulled her out easily. Why would she lie about something like that? Kareen seems deep in thought. Maybe it's better to leave her alone. You close the door softly. I can't stop thinking about that vegetable stew. I'd be fine with the bread and jam. I'd be fine with the strawberries. Nobody else laughs. I would kill for some vegetables right now. It's crazy that kill is underlined. I don't know what's happening, but this nigga's about to chop up the whole house. What if some crazy shit like that happens? You would too. I'm going to try to get some sleep. Good night. Night. You fall asleep quickly, but you only dream about desecrating a corpse. You wake in a cold sweat in a completely different room. Good morning. Kareen's looking worse. Will you cook for the group today? You take out a cutlet of meat and begin to cook it in the oven. Where do we get meat from? You cooked meat. Where did you get that? You ignore Kareen's question. What's that smell? Gregor finally gets off the couch. Where did you... The three are looking at you, salivating. You take the charred meat out of the oven, cutting it. Where the fuck did this nigga get meat? Are we dreaming? They immediately grab some off the plate, chewing ferociously. You take a piece and immediately devour it. Do you have any more of this? You explain how the meat is stored securely, hidden, so you can ration better this time. I understand. Thank you. And Anatoly returns to the bathroom, puking in the toilet. You can hear him sobbing for a few minutes. This taste is... Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Babe, relax. Babe, is there chicken left? I'm freaking starving.
Yeah, there's chicken. Hold on. I'm gonna just...
I get like your money in it. That this taste is... Gregor wanders off, and Natalia returns looking choked up. I was too weak. Left you some of the meat. Don't fight this, Anatoly. Anatoly takes a cutlet from the plate, turning his back to the group as he devours it. You can hear him crying. Finally, my focus is coming back. I'm going to read some of those books. Keep them occupied, okay? Kareen leaves you with the men. Who do you want to talk to? Let's talk to... Anatoly. You knock on the first door. Anatoly, you slowly open the door. I think it's probably crying. Are you saying is that Mariah? But she left. How could I have... What? Thanks for checking in on me. You asked if he still feels sick. Not anymore. I think it was a mental thing. Please don't tell me where the meat came from. The less known, the better. You nod. Thank you. You're sure Anatoly will remember that? Your relationship is stronger. You leave Anatoly and go tidy up the kitchen. Hours pass. Eating will just make them hungrier. They're fine now, but soon they'll be begging for more. We've waited long enough. What's for dinner? You calmly explain that you want to ration the meat better this time, and there will be no dinner. Fine, I understand. I guess I'd rather eat tomorrow more than today. No arguments. Perfect. Everyone decides to call it an early night. You fall asleep instantly. You have a strange dream. You're having dinner with a blacksmith, but he's not touching his food. The only light in the room comes from the oven. He clears his throat, stroking his beard. I can forge anything, he says. Your eye has been giving you issues lately, so you reply, forge me a new eye then. You laugh, but then the ropes come out. He ties you to your chair with a long rope to prevent you from struggling. You rip the rope apart without even trying, so the blacksmith uses a thicker rope. No turning back now. He takes a hot poker out of the coals, holding it in front of his face. You can see his beard and eyes watching you. He slowly brings back the poker, aiming carefully for your eye. What the fuck? Before plunging it through your skull with a sickening crunch. The force of the blow throws you backwards a few feet. You're unable to break the ropes. You vomit all over your chest. As the smell of your decimated eye floods your nostrils, the blacksmith stands over you, spitting on your body. You wake in a cold sweat. You wake up to see Gregor looking out the window. He turns to you, not smiling. Take a look out the window. Do you notice anything?
Они вас никогда не простят.
The flood waters have receded a little bit, but everyone is still bound to the cabin. The trail used to be completely visible. It's now gone. Am I tripping, or did anyone else hear that? Am I tripping, or I didn't want to make sure it was coming from. Good morning, big guy. Will Mariah make it back? This might sound a little crazy, but every night around 2 a.m., I can hear her outside. She makes this awful gurgling noise, like she's trying to get water out of her lungs. Have you heard her, Gregor? Wait, what are you doing?
Cover the camera so I can go by.
Just go. My wife is a crackhead, guys. I swear to God. What are you doing?
I love you, babe.
I love you.
Oh, babe. Check your phone.
Huh?
I'll be texting you.
Huh?
Check your phone. I'll be texting you.
Okay. Okay, dokie. Sometimes when the rain gets faint, I think I can hear her whispering. I haven't heard anything like that. When she's whispering, it's like she's trying to tell you something, right? Yeah. Y'all can't see this, so hold on. Let me, move my camera. Yes. I sometimes hear her crying through the radio, but that's just a broadcast. Right? I think we should have another piece of meat for breakfast. One step closer to Mariah. It's what she would have wanted. What's gotten into you, Anatoly? Anatoly's eyes look at you, begging. Bring us another slab. Please. He clearly doesn't have the stomach for it. I can't get the taste out of my mouth. Please help me. Anatoly? Gregor looks pained at Anatoly's words. I think he's right. Please bring us more of that meat. You grab some of the meat from your secret hiding place. You cut it into squares, adding it to the boiling cauldron water. It will taste bland without any seasoning, but you need to serve it up right away. What's taking so long? Boil it faster. It looks almost done. Patience. It's finally finished. You serve the meat in bowls. Gregor drinks the broth first before swallowing the chunks whole, like a duck does when eating bread. Anatoly creates ripples in the broth using the spoon. He isn't eating. I'm sorry about earlier, everyone. I don't know what overtook me. Mariah. Anatoly begins to weep. You look over at Karine. You didn't notice her even start to eat. There's just an empty bowl now. Ah, Karina's staring right at you. How much more meat is left? You explain how most of it has gone bad. This is the last of it. How could you be so careless again? You remember Kareen's knife. You need to think fast. What the hell are we supposed to do now? Wait around again? This storm isn't ending. You clear your throat. Anatoly, yes? I think tomorrow you should look for Mariah. Or forage for plants outside. I think you should go tomorrow, little guy. Nobody else can identify edible plants like you. Please, Anatoly. You can swim back after a few hours. Rigor is right, Anatoly. Maybe you'll find Mariah out there. I think Mariah's fine by herself. He still hasn't accepted what happened yet. She doesn't need anyone's help, but we need your help, Anatoly. That's right, Anatoly. Please help us. Let me sleep on it, okay? No problem, little guy. Everyone shuffles off to their rooms, reading books, and you go to bed.
Лучше спи с двумя глазами открытыми.
Mariah. Something is approaching.
Onion!
Hey. Put the can bottom right. Good idea. I think it's better over there. Don't be a crybaby. It's just me. Onion. Not going to be very sweet today. I'm worried about Anatoly. Can you stop him from leaving the cabin? You don't answer, Onion. Please, don't you trust me? You shake your head. Got a fun factoid for you. Did you know that leaving out an unpeeled onion in your room absorbs bacteria? It will help prevent colds and ward off viruses. That was a lie. The fun factoid of that myth, people actually believed it in the 1500s. How embarrassing. Who would believe that? There was even a doctor in 1919 who caused a surge of people believing it. Anyways, you know what smells like a raw onion left in a room? You! It's been a while since your last bath, right? You can't remember. Could smell you before I even came in the room. So can you stop Anatoly from leaving? I know he has cabin fever, but this is ridiculous. It will be impossible to stop a grown man from leaving. Please. We don't need another one stalking the hallways, tapping on the windows, crying through the radio. You have the sudden urge to scream. Why do you think I've been using the mouse holes to get around? Scared to death that I'll run into her. Don't make me tattle to the cabbage about you. She can be as mean as Potato if you get on her bad side. Just kidding, she's great. Anyways, when the time comes, just tell Anatoly you care about him and don't want him to leave. Even if it's for me, okay? You can't trust me. You can trust me. Now, if you excuse me, I need to work on some new skates. They're made of butter slices. Your mind manages to forget everything that happened. You fall asleep again. You have a strange dream. A fox is collecting payment in your living room. You despise him, so you put 2 dogs at the bottom of a sack, then add 6 chickens on top. The fox smiles at you and leaves. At some point in his journey, the fox will eventually open the sack, and the dogs tear the fox in half. Filled with such loathing for the fox, you gave him the only things you had for food, all of those chickens. As the snow piles up outside, you begin to eat whatever you can find. Pillowcases, candles, leathers. One day you wake up and you have nothing left to eat. Absolutely nothing. Just an insatiable hunger. A few days later, you go mad and leave the cabin, completely ravenous. A nearby tree looks like charred meat. Your iron teeth cut through the tree bark, tearing your gums apart by the splinters. Your mouth fills quickly with blood. Days later, a deer gallops by. The first creature in the woods to see your corpse. You wake in a cold sweat. Something smells terrible in the living room. Someone puked in a corner. You wipe it up with a rag to save them their embarrassment. Good morning. Good morning, little guy. Well, Anatoly, what's your decision? I barely slept last night. Her whispers came through one of the holes in the floor. She kept telling me to come outside. We don't want to rush you, but one of us puked last night. So that's what the smell was? Anatoly, my patience is wearing thin. You have 1 hour to make a decision. Why so quickly? Because I'm not waiting any longer. You can see the glint of Kareen's knife under her dress. Best to watch out for that knife. Huh? The group disappears. Tension is rising. You have 1 hour to kill. What do you want to do? Hi, keep this between us. I'm not giving Anatoly a choice today. He's going outside. Do I make myself clear? What the fuck? Anatoly is an adult. Excuse me? You remember Kareen has the knife. He doesn't get a choice in this anymore. Neither do you. You can tell she means business. Is that clear? Good. Kareen will remember that. When the time comes, you just need to shut your mouth and not say anything. Understood? Why the fuck is she smiling like that? And when did she get those beads around her neck? No talking. This will be an easy request. You nod. Excellent. I'll get everyone together for a meeting. Save. Probably a good idea to save. Anatoly, you okay, little guy? Anatoly looks pale, like he's gonna pass out. Anatoly, have you made a decision? Yes. I'll help you all out. I promise. Thank you, Anatoly. Big tears roll down Gregor's cheeks. I'll miss you, big guy. I'll miss you, little guy. Humph. Thank you, Anatoly. I know this wasn't easy, but it's for the best. Kareen? Yes, Gregor looks at you expectantly. Did you want to say anything, Anatoly? You say nothing. Goodbye, Anatoly. Goodbye, everyone. Good luck, little guy. Anatoly has left the cabin. See you soon, little guy. I guess all we can do now is wait. Good night. Kareen goes to the bedroom to sleep. I didn't tell him the truth. Gregor is getting choked up. I didn't tell him. Missing him already. What? Gregor curls up on the couch for the night, turning his back to you. You shut your eyes, quickly falling asleep. You hear a scraping from the floor. Found you. You explain how this isn't a good time right now. This is no laughing matter. I'm worried about Gregor. He's as tall as a tree, but as dumb as a brick. What's the root of that? Haha, another cornbread classic. You're being very unpopular right now. That's a tree reference. Get it? Anyways, you need to protect Gregor. You need to protect Gregor from the red-haired woman. Cabbage called an emergency chompet meeting and told me to give you this mission. Watch out for that knife and protect Gregor at all costs. Understood? You nod. It's the least you can do, right? You tell Bread that pun didn't make sense. On a roll today. I'll see you around. You fall asleep thinking about what Bread told you. This bitch Kareen must be crazy, nigga. You have a strange dream. It's lying on the table in front of you. You take off the glasses first, partially cracked, and set them down next to the workbench. Working the saw, you wrap the cuts in an old newspaper. Some of it gets soggy immediately, so you begin drying the cuts with a towel before wrapping. Much better. You hear something approaching, so you clench a fist and get ready to strike whatever's coming for you. You wake in a cold sweat. What? You wake in a completely different place. Did you sleepwalk or? Oh God, they found some meat. Are we like going out and killing these niggas? Everybody's still asleep. This would be a nice surprise after yesterday's events. You decide to cook breakfast for everyone, cutting each slice fairly thin. You brown each side in the oven. The smell is unique. Kareen runs into the kitchen. What is that smell? Give it to me. Now. You don't argue. Kareen grabs a cutlet, burning her hands before bringing it to her mouth. Ach! She hungrily devours it, barely chewing. She grabs another cutlet off the plate and eats it. You thought she was concerned with rationing. Gregor wasted from the couch and heads to the kitchen. Oh God, already? Gregor looks conflicted, but he succumbs to the hunger. They always do. Gregor eats his food in a few bites, carefully grabbing a second cutlet. The tears start streaming down his face, but he doesn't make a sound. You join them in the meal, quickly consuming the meat on the table. I can think straight again. We'll be out of here in no time. No need to ration anything now. Kareen is sounding more determined than before. I'm going to lie down on the couch. Try to keep this food down. Gregor crawls onto the couch, turning his back to you. Kareen leans into the whisper. I'm glad Mariah and Atali are gone. They were stopping us from bonding properly. How did you get so good at it? You tell Kareen. After one bite, it just made me feel whole again. Even with the nightmares, it's worth it. It took a few nights, but I fought back, and now it's all I can think about. I read the book on necropsy? The text is ancient, but the diagrams are beautifully drawn. Very descriptive. How many years did it take you to perfect the craft? You tell her. Yeah, right. I used to tell Mariah that you weren't funny, but that's not true. Sorry about that. You've grown on me. Kareen pauses, deep in thought. You know Gregor can't swim, right? He'd be the next to leave, but he doesn't stand a chance outside. They always seem to come back, right? In one way or another. Why wait for him to come back? Kareen hands you a vial of liquid. I think you know what needs to be done. This is a strong anesthetic. Don't ask me how I found it. I want you to slip this into Gregor's mug tonight. This is for the best. He won't feel any pain until he wakes up. All you have to do is stand back and let me work on him. The request is beyond extreme. Will you do this for me? No. Fine. Save that for a rainy day. I'll have everything set by the couch. You don't have to watch. The restraints should be easy to apply myself. Gregor's strength is a farce. Hey, Kareen, what are you doing? Untie me. Oh my God! This will be over soon, Gregor. Ah! Stop! Go! Gregor has turned silent. You leave her alone, going into the bedroom and clawing into the bed Anatoly slept in. You fall asleep almost instantly. Wake up, sleepyhead. You are having a nightmare. Thanks for letting me practice last night. I think I did a great job. What the fuck is that behind her? Made us all some breakfast this morning to celebrate. Breakfast? With what? That's a surprise. Gregor's already finished his. Took a few hours, but he caved. Come on, let me show you. You get out of bed and head to the living room. Why? He's a little weak from the blood loss, but don't worry. Bandage him up like a field medic. What is it, Gregor? Where are my... God, you're stupid. Maybe if you spent as much time reading books as chopping wood, you would have noticed the pages I was bookmarking in the necropsy book. What are you talking about? Do I have to spell it out for you? You can't swim. How are you supposed to help us out when you immediately drown? You'd sink like a log. I put some of your limbs away for safekeeping. That leg was pretty tasty, huh? Gregor goes pale. How's that for a big breakfast? And don't try to crawl away. If you leave this couch, I'll end you. I don't want any of it to go bad, so we'll have to eat that fresh arm when everything else is gone. Speaking of which, I'm going to start cooking another chunk. I'll leave you two alone to chat. All I wanted to do was keep everyone alive and together, but I failed at that. Are you disappointed in me? No. Thank you. That means a lot to me. Growing up, nobody had to tell me to be big and strong. It just happened naturally. My mother's always made sure I never went hungry. Seconds, thirds, fourths, and yet I complained my belly was not full. One day on my way home from school, I was walking by the town inn and smelled something amazing coming right out of a pile of trash. I dug through it and discovered a bag they threw away. They threw away a meal that was fresh out the oven for some reason. At least that's what I thought. I became ill with food poisoning. I hugged the toilet and cried for hours. My mother rubbed my back and eventually carried me to bed. I learned nothing from that experience. Like everywhere else, I was just here for the food. I'll never get this foul taste out of my mouth. She's going to keep eating me. I'm sorry. Getting too lightheaded to hold a good conversation. She's going to torture me again. You know that, right? Can you cover me with a blanket? I'd never been this cold. This cabin, it chills me. What was left of them. Consider it my dying wish. Thank you. Much warmer now. Watch out for that knife, okay? Gregor begins to look at peace. You watch the last of Gregor's air escape his lungs. What the hell do you think you're doing? You tell Kareen that Gregor gave up. We could have kept him alive for another week. What's wrong with you? No matter. Plenty of food left now. Kareen leaves you alone. You head to the kitchen to try to find the other remains. What the fuck? You look at the pile of dishes and your mind starts to wander.
Hello!
I'm gonna pause there for the moment.